Julian, what are you hearing from your sources about what happened this evening at that market?
Hi, good evening. We have numerous reporters on the ground there, and they describe both a horrible scene of many people injured, many casualties, and at the same time a massive rescue and police operation going on. I know that place from driving by there every morning on my way to work. I know how hard it is to access with a car. There's no real road access leading to it, so it would be very hard to access it accidentally. And from looking at live feeds from our reporters coming in, it seems like that truck pulled through almost all of the Christmas market, which doesn't really look like it was done accidentally.
You're saying it looks like it plowed through almost the entire length of the Christmas market? Because that's a big area in front of that big church.
It's a big area. Look, I'm just looking at earliest pictures coming in. It wouldn't have pulled through the length of the Christmas market, but through the shorter sides, the width of the Christmas market. It's also a very significant scene. It's one of the most popular Christmas markets in Berlin, a true landmark, the city center of West Berlin. So it is the kind of scene, the kind of iconic scene that symbolizes Berlin, that symbolizes Christmas markets in Berlin, where everyone would know this is Berlin. It's an iconic place, and from looking at those live feeds, we're seeing at least many people injured. That there are first reports of people dead. There are reports coming in from our colleagues at Morgenpost, who you've just talked to, that police is treating that as a terrorist attack. But that's again just one newspaper reporting that so far. But the scene certainly looks like a reminder of what we have seen in Nice a couple of months earlier.
Right. Of course, we don't have this officially confirmed. I mean, we are hearing reports, but I know that market as well. I've been there. It's hard to imagine that this was an accident of someone who lost control of this giant truck, because we're seeing the images there, Julian. This is a huge truck. It's got that blue siding on it, and we're seeing rescue workers there trying to tend perhaps the people who've been wounded. And by the way, I want to also tell our viewers 50 injured, it looks like, and possibly multiple deaths as well. People in Germany must have been, I mean, with all the attacks that happened in France and the attack in Brussels as well a few months ago, must have been concerned this was a possibility in their country as well, if indeed this is an attack.
Well, that is what people have talked about for months now. Hala, as you know from having been in Berlin, Christmas markets in Germany have always been considered one of the prime possible targets in a possible attack. And people have asked this question: how are we prepared against a possible Nice scenario? Now, again, I drive by that place every morning. We have reported extensively on new security measures since this wave of terrorism in Europe. There are more policemen on the scene from what we know, plainclothes policemen, but I've seen nothing like barriers, concrete barriers, anything like that, that would stop a truck, no matter from which motive, or accidentally being driven into such a scene. I've never seen anything like that around one of the numerous Christmas markets in Berlin. So it really seems like at least the scenario that we have seen in Nice, although we do not know the motive yet, really has come here and has at least injured an awful lot of people, although the police is now also saying to our reporters on the ground that they're counting 2 fatalities so far.
And we were speaking, as you were listening, by the way, to this interview, Julian, to Jan Hollitzer of Morgenpost. He was there. He was an eyewitness. He just happened to be at that Christmas market, and he told us he saw the leg of someone who was driving that truck, and the cab of the truck kind of dangling out of what looked like an open door. So at the very least, it appears as though this is over. The truck has stopped, and now it's just a question of trying to figure out what happened.
That is certainly what all German security agencies are trying right now. There are also reports that the driver of the truck has disappeared for some reason. There were no reports of any arrest or any shots fired. All our sources tell us that the driver is on the run for, again, whatever reasons or motives. We are not able to really confirm anything there yet. But from everything we are seeing, from everything we're hearing from our reporters on the ground, judging from all the different agencies of government and law enforcement that are on the scene, this is certainly being treated as a possible to likely attack.